Okay, I'm going to do a session on reinforcement. Session. Huh. That's the gray cat that is screaming like that. She wants to go out, but she got bit by a raccoon, I think, on her ass. So I let her out after nursing her for a few days, for I don't know, 10 days. When I let her out, she wouldn't let her bring him back in for about 3 days. During that time, she um, licked her wounds raw. I mean, it was back to bread. So she appears to do less licking inside. And no, I don't use a shield on her head. I think that's not necessarily. Hey, chill out. You want to be? I already put you in the video with conversation here. All right, so let's talk. These appear to be the drains for the flower pots, flower pot drains. I do not think they're drains for somebody's bathroom or sink. So this puts us out in the deck area. Look, if you note, we talk about the saturation that everyone knows about. You can see it's almost stopped right there. It just goes from straight line, straight up water to, peeling paint to, well, where's the peeling paint? To none. So right about here, I believe, is your transition from your decking to your main-bodied building. And you can see that the flooring, the bottom of the deck, appears to be integral with the flooring internal. Now, could that be some plaster? Yeah, I don't have a shot of it. It could be gunite ceiling somehow. I doubt it, but I'm just going to touch those bases with you. So somewhere about here to there. This is probably the drains 1 and 2, floor drains. It could be 1, 2, 3. We're looking at. Let's go back to the image there. Yep. So 1, 2. I don't know. There's some more system down there, but this is your BMA, your one of your beams. I don't know if it's the BMA or not, or it might be the a real called out beam with the size and dimensions. Now it's a BMA. So let's verify. So here are 2 columns here. Remember the dual columns together? They're the only place in the entire building where they run dual columns. A car is between the dual columns, and that would be over here. There's a car. There's a dual column. Let's see. I'm going to let play just a little bit. There's a dual column. 1 and 2. There's a car between it. And then we have the dual columns again. So right to the here are dual columns. So catty corner to that. Catty corner, right? Diagonal is our location. So dual columns, catty corner to that is our location. So I think we're looking at this, probably maybe this BMA here. And then there's a large, is that one that fell on the floor. So right there, actually, the dual columns is where we see the T-shaped reinforcement on the ground. The T-shape, it is that column, 1, 2, 3, 4, the dual columns. This BM35, BM34, and BM33 integral to each other. It appears to be this beautiful lady right about, well, that's interesting, right? Here we go. It goes down, here we are down here, turn, and then come back to your left. So 28, turn, I'm sorry, make it there, tee off, meet in the middle, and then come back over to this one here. So you can't quite see behind there, can we? Let's go back to it again. So we have, okay, third one over. Let's slide them together. What the hell? It makes it easy. Someone sent me over to a forum. I went over there. It was long. It was painstaking to it looks like they're copying everyone's video that they can, screenshots, and I'm just their answer to that and putting it over there. And I got tired of trying to read that. The circle jerk. It's just going around the circle, and I was like, there's nothing. No one. I don't like that. No one's calling out. I don't like the idea of saying this could happen. This could happen. This could happen. This could happen. Nobody wants to have a shit about this could happen. People want to know how it happened. And you guys, a couple of people have asked me, I don't know if they're trolling me or not, but asked me, what's the trigger event? What's the trigger event? Well, you have to watch my series of videos. But we're talking about just like the FIU bridge. It's simple. You cannot get failure unless you get deflection. No deflection, you get no failure. Okay, so the deck cannot fail if it doesn't deflect. It's simple as that. The deck can't fail if it doesn't get any deflection. And deflection, of course, would include punch shearing. That's part of deflection, isn't it? But it couldn't punch shear without having some form of deflection because it's connected at the walls, apparently, roughly, somewhat at the walls, and over and all the way through, right? And they have a little elevation change, but no deflection, we get no collapse. All right, none at all. So you need deflection. And so why do we get deflection? We lose our connections. We lose our pull-out strength, which I'm going to do. Wait a minute. So I'm getting ahead of myself on how I'm going to explain my series in rebar, and then you guys can go, okay, so I want you to be able to say, okay, so this could have been a few ways that we lose connections. One, we lost our grip force of our rebar inside our concrete. Oh, how can you prove that? Well, we got core samples. I saw it because you guys telling me to go look, and I listened painstakingly to the non-integrity guy. All right, painstakingly. And so, because I think he should stay with residential, or I don't know. You know, he's a babe in the woods. He's learning. You know, he's too literal right now. He can't extrapolate. Let me put it that way. He can't extrapolate good enough. The guy that is saying the repairs, he obviously can extrapolate. He says he has no field work, but he can extrapolate. He did 2 core samples and said, this deck is fucking shit. All right? He said this whole deck is shit. He did a sheet on it saying that you should replace the whole thing. With that said, you know, I've owned a few houses, right? And during owning these houses, insurance companies sometimes will come out before you take ownership or whatever it is, or once they have an interest in it. And they cited me a couple times on branches over a roof, even telling me, well, that's dangerous for our insurance. We have an insurable interest. We want you to remove those branches. I had to do that on one once, right? That was just branches. Insurable risk. They have an insurable risk. They have an insurable interest. That's what it's called, an insurable interest. So the dead branches or the live branches just hanging over the house, which there was too much of a risk for them. They gave me so many days to get rid of those branches, so they didn't have to worry about a lightning strike or heavy winds damaging their structure and making them having to pay out sooner. With that said, I think that the insurance company should not pay out. I think they should wait for the report to come out to see if this deck was actually the initiating cause via NIST stating it. Of course, that's going to be probably, if they take the witness statements, of course you got to get the start here. But if they are like these, most engineers can't figure out how you get from here to there, then they're going to have 2 collapses, aren't they? They're going to discount the witness statement saying that on the phone, the lady on the phone, they're going to discount her statement. And they're going to have a failure internal and then a failure external. But they're going to have to change the position of it because these people had 6-7 minutes to make phone calls. We have witnesses stating they saw the deck collapse now. We're very clear on that one. All right, we got phone calls. We got people saying their front wall is separating. We got a ring camera showing separation. And I'm going to show all that again. I see the way I present is that I give you a little bit at a time and let your brain work on it. And then I say, now watch you tie it in. For example, I'm going to tie in the whole front wall system. So we're going to tie in the whole entire the entire front wall system. I'm going to show you how to get there from here. I'm going to show you this, for example. Yeah, really. Come on, dude. Come on, brother. Yeah, it's not going to, there we go. Well, text, that's a start. And what the hell, I'll take this for now. I'm going to show you the front wall reaction. Let's just do that down to there. I'm going to get to this for you. I've already showed you a piece of this in the other video. I'm going to get, come on, baby. I'm going to get there for you, right? So I'm going to get there for you. and I'm going to show you how we get there. This is a sample of how we're going to get there. This is a sample. Let's do that, and one more sample. And yes, I made that one longer because some of the PIF piles might be a little longer than the others. So I want you to keep that in mind. Just because you see that exposed at the driveway, at the floor, at the ground level, this would be the ground level. Just because you see that does not necessarily mean that these are not deeper. So let's, some of the piles might be deeper. So I'm helping you see that. But on the surface, we would see this. Then we see about 4 foot of a pile cap. And there's the pile cap. Oops. So we would see about 4 foot of pile cap under each one of these guys, like that. Yeah. So we would see about 4 foot of pile cap. Hold on. It's actually good that you watch me draw it, because this is how I can help you see the reactions much better. You can see the reactions much better this way. Alright, so let's do that. Smooth these up. That's the floor. So of course I gotta do one of my cars. I'll do one of my cars. Let's do 3 of these. We did this already. Whoa. And so 1, and it could be 4. It could be 6. As many as the hell as they want, right? But we'll just do the 3 right here. The 3 of them, because they kind of look kind of balanced to me. All right. So here's your deck. Here's your deck. Probably real light on this one, right? This is that parking garage area. Wait a minute, there's a structure above it. So there's a structure above it, right? So this is your building above the parking garage there, and building above the parking garage. Okay, and then over here to your left, if we can look at it from a profile, these are your floors. This is floor 1, and we'll go all the way up to floor 6, but we won't get too crazy about my heights here. Not to scale, right? Not to scale. Get over here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 7th floor. Ring camera floor. So we'll get the ring camera floor in here. Yep, you got to play along. You got to go along. So this is ground level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ring camera. All right, hopefully they'll let me draw on this now. Let's see if I can bring out this, my squiggly. Really, you won't let me draw on this one? Wait a minute. Haha, there we go. Okay. So, camera. Whoa, baby, whoa. Thought I had my screen. Okay, right. So this would be camera, right? So I can move this over here. Here's ring camera, pointing towards the ceiling and back to the back of the room. 7th floor. 6th floor, we got a lady with a crack in the wall. We have the deck. We have the piers. We get a little car action going on here. Some cars on the ground floor. Let's put a car. This is the driveway through there. So let's do a little roof on this car. So we just do this. Okay. This one gets a little longer. It goes over here. Let's make a truck car. This time 6 cars here, including the truck. space. So it's pretty close right here to where he comes out his pool area. So I gotta make a smaller car here. Shut up, cat. You want to go out? No, cats aren't allowed outside. Didn't you get the memo? No, cats are not allowed outside. Go read the memo. Check your notes this morning. All right, so this is the car. Terrible car. That's a car. Well, whoa. I guess you're allowed outside. So anyway, didn't I get the memo? So, you know you're in a video. You know they're going to be talking. That's the gray cat. That's not Bruce or George. That's the gray cat. She's one of my strays. She demands to go out. And that screeching like that, somebody stole her once because they thought she was a stray cat, I guess, and they wanted her. She's so pretty. And I said to my girl, I said, don't worry. I said, she'll be back. Somebody local probably stole her. And they said, how do you know that? I said, don't you know what she does when she wants to go out? She does that. She screams until you let her out. Come here, girl. Come on. I'm petting her now. Give me a second. You're a good girl. Come on. You love being inside until your ass is fixed. Literally. I'll let you out. Another few days. It's tough on me too because I know you love your freedom. All right. So back to so right here is that there's should be some punch shear protection, but in this case we don't have it. So it would be, remember the oh, I never knew I could draw an arrow like that. That was pretty badass. I'm gonna draw one of those again. Let's see. Didn't work. Huh. Now I know how to do something else in this program. Alright, so puncture protection is supposed to be there. That's pretty badass. Oh, I can scale it down. I can give it a head, a house, or whatever the hell it looks like. It's got two sides to it. There we go, skinny it up. Oh, that's pretty badass. Keep that in mind. Puncture protection stops it from going into, can I rotate it? Oh, here. Obviously it didn't fall down from up top at of there, didn't it? So our our floors above us didn't fail. That's very important. I want you guys to realize that these floors above didn't fail. So I don't have the engulfing of the whole, and these are like the deck, if you will. This is the porch. This is the porch with the railing on it, that fancy railing. And maybe that some of it goes on that side. I doubt it. I don't recall the porch being over there, but you know what? This helps you see it. And so, yeah, I hear you, beast. So let's lower this down. I think this starts kind of. I don't know if it. Do they line up? Huh? Is it that low? No, because this one has a bigger carport, if you will, over there. So let's let's do that. But we don't see this collapsing over on this side, right? So it's not collapsing over here. So this side is stable. But this side of the structure is not. So when we're looking at it from, it should be, so south, west side. We're looking at cut away from the west side if we could. This is where the fireman would be down here and the floor down below looking across. So the fireman would be great. Yeah. So the fireman would be down here and we're looking across this direction. And that's that floor, this one here, and here are the cars up here. It's much taller, much taller. She's looking out the window, screaming that she wants out. I know, girl, but you're not ready yet. You're close. I mean, you are close. I could almost trust you, but I let you out like this last time. And you started licking your ass, remember? So I just talk to them like humans. All right. So we get a puncture, but where it starts failing, I believe, is in the middle there, right? We have images showing that the deck is ripped out like this. So we get these dropping down on top of these vehicles here. We have these cars just perfectly placed right? Like they would just like that. It's like they would drop. But when and it goes over to now. I might be taking some liberty here, but this section, let's see, let's liberty this back. This section probably stops somewhere about here. Then it goes over to the pool. So we have our top view now. Good. Top view. So here are the cars here, right? The cars are inside here. 6 cars. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One falling over this direction. Here's our building over. I'll get rid of that, I guess. So here's our building over here. Well, actually, here's our building right here. The cars are parked. Let me look at the map right here. Cars are parked down here in this section here. Okay. So then let's just do this. Hold on. Bear with me. Huh. Oh, I can't do two screenshots. It won't let me do 2 overlays of that. So then there are our vehicles here. I want you to see it overlay here. This is apartment 1 behind. Look, disregard all the stuff and look where my mouse is looking back onto the map section of this. Our decking, our driveway is right here. Here's our driveway. Here's apartment. This is apartment 1 in the background, right? That's 111, right? So 111. First floor. That's our witness room. Our witness position, multiple witness position. Well, the girl didn't really speak up, did she? So multiple witness position out here. Witness first 111, 111. Other witness are the third party witness via the phone calls, records, and the husband being a lawyer, I believe, stating to his sister-in-law, who then stated to the public, like she was right there, using her phone thing that really disturbed me with her ability to do that. All right, so then witness 1 says he saw a pool deck cars disappear, and then he saw a pool deck disappear. During that time, they decide to exit Snagglepuss, as we exit stage left, Snagglepuss back through the lobby, right? And I don't know if they went to the front door or they went through the this direction. During that time, they tell a guy, as we talk about, hey, yo, dude, call 911. There's an earthquake. Remember, she thinks there's an earthquake, not a sinkhole at this point. The lady on the wife, right, the pretty girl, as everybody knows her as, she's the one, the model. She's the one that says sinkhole. From her observation, she appears to be observing sinkholes. Very interesting. She doesn't really say earthquake. She observes sinkholes, right? Am I right about that? Does she say earthquake? Next lady on, oh no, she's on 4. Next lady on 6 says, I'm out of here when she sees this gap on 6. So here's, so I didn't put a ground floor on this bad boy. So there's the ground floor, which is equivalent to our deck floor right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 makes phone call. This is 4, right? So 4, she makes phone call, right? This is number 4. Oh, that didn't work. So number 4, 4th floor, phone call, observation, sinkholes. The pool, hubby, sinkholes. 6th floor, 4. So this is 4, 5, and here's 6. 6 observes 2-inch cracking, right? So 2-inch cracking is observed. Older lady in her 80s, her alarm goes off in her brain that says, I'm out of here. She takes off. Everyone says she takes the wrong staircase, which saved her life. She went to the left. She went to the right. Those are the staircases. The staircases are gone. 7 is camera. 7 is the camera view, and this is the camera view looking out of the room, off of a table, I believe. So we get the deck, we get this pull coming down. It can't pull down off of here for free. This is on the video where I show the stapled wire and the reactions at the columns, where they don't pull for free. They don't shrink for free. During that pulling, they're integral with the wall here at this location. So we're integral with here. Oops, overlay. Where the beam BMA is, she's looking here, so right about here, or I even like to be back to, I think it's the third one back. Follow this over. Here's your beam. I'm covering it. Here's a BMA back to the building, right? BMA right there. Sorry for the guys with cell phones. Turns out 50% of you watching on a cell phone. I looked at that data. There's the driveway. If she turns to the left, you'll see that there's the driveway. So she's in line right where this ceiling falls down. Everyone has a ceiling falling down way up here, breaking a pipe and water coming there. I don't see why the ceiling would continue over to the ramp there. She's photographing. She's compression. Think of compression. I already heard the guy steal my comments on that compression deal. So it's just off, whatever his name is. Already saw his video. I like his mic. Got to get one of those. But anyway, compression is what's going on. It pulls things that are further back towards the camera. We know it does it automatically. You don't have a choice. She was zoomed in, because when she was zoomed out, oh yeah, she has a beautiful sound. Now you see why she goes out. This is why I knew that I'd be able to get her back. I didn't give up on her. 8 days later, someone posted her on Facebook. There's a pretty stray cat around. Someone got hold of me telling me that your cat's on Facebook. I don't have Facebook, so I quickly ran out to where the cat was, about 4 blocks away, and in the yard of somebody. They're terrified. So here are your 2 spots here, and that's your 2 spots there. So there's your BMA. There is, interesting though, very interesting, I just said that it's like the water stopped right in the middle of it. Right in the middle. Here is the conflict in my statement.
Data 17.
There's the water right down the break, but it's in the center, pretty thereabouts, center line of a BMA, right? Center line. The building's not to here. Building starts there. Some of the some of the building in the penthouse area and over to the right, it goes all the way up. It's supported by the BMAs. But at this location, this is just a little planter. This could be there about 7 feet of that planter box. And then we're looking, if you look here, it's kind of like jogs over. This could be that mapping of the planter box here, meaning the planter blocks on out. Not just the planter blocks, actually, the porch, here's the porch, let's get that right. So the porch is dry, the porch isn't saturating down below. The porch has got that elevation, it's doing great. And so from here back are your planter box areas. So your whole roof is saturated. We know that at the deck because we saw the core samples. It's just shit everywhere. The guy calls it out, I think correctly. Excuse me. The engineer says replace it all. All right, so 2 core samples. So there's no reason to get excited about their location. Oh my. Yeah, you guys don't know. This thing will force you to let it out. Yeah. Yo, dude, girl, chill out. So then now, let's put this back over here. So there's the BMA. This is the porch. So do you see where the porch is? It's a 7-foot porch right here. If I move this over, 7 foot right there. Call out 7 foot. So I think we're looking at the porch area, but it's over left. So it's over here. And this porch comes out even a little bit further right here before it steps down. And there are your steps. And I think that whole mapping of the ceiling you see is all this just acting like a damn sponge. This entire deck I think is just shit. So the BMA I think we're observing is this one right here, not this one. I think she's standing right underneath of the BMA. Let's see if I get this right. Double pole, come back. She's probably standing. We're probably looking at this BMA right here. So let's push this back in place and change your position back to where the firemen were, where you see with the roofs falling down. So that would be back to your visual where the cars are right here. So you're standing underneath there, you're looking out this direction. Underneath, hold on a second. You're standing underneath there, looking out this direction. There's your columns. And we're going to go over rebar, like I said. I'm going to show you how rebar works. I really want to put in the other note too. We do not have a bulging wall that could have pushed on this whole entire decking and pushed it over to push on the structure. This wall appears to be plumb all the way down. We don't have any forces that are presenting. Closing off the street actually helped out in this case, because now I don't have to worry about some vibration and the surcharging of the loads over here, pushing on that floor, floor, which pushes over to the building, which pushes on the columns. Yeah, she is actually ready to win. She's almost ready to win. I think if you keep this up for another 5 minutes, you will have won. But then I'll be so mad because I'll see you outside licking. So sorry guys, I gotta talk to her. No. So anyway, back to this. So this falls down. So looking at that view, it falls down. It slips around here, around these connections here. This is punch shear. You can get upset about it. Punching shear. All right, for you freaks that want to get upset about it. Punch shear. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? It's my version of it. I mean, we don't say 2x4 floor joist, 2x12 floor joist. Right there, you say floor joist. Nobody gets upset if you don't call out the exact dimensions of it, or 2x 12, 16-inch on center, thereabouts. So nobody gets upset. We just call them floor joists. So what's wrong with me abbreviating punching shear by saying punch shear? You guys know what it means. For the people that don't know, they just want to get triggered. What is punch shear? I see your comments, and I want to say it's the same thing your mother said when we were making you. What is punch shear? Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I attack back. My amygdala, I accept that amygdalas only attack, that they don't know retreat. That the form of retreat is a form of attack. She was protecting herself when she ran out. This one number 4 called her protection, which was her husband. Her husband didn't offer the best protection by saying run. He was still trying to take on data. You heard the one about the psychiatrist, the lady, she couldn't get enough sex. The first guy she married was a gynecologist, and he just wanted to look at it all day. All right, so the second guy she married was a psychiatrist. He just wanted to talk about it all day. So she finally marries a lawyer, and now she's happy as can be, because they fuck you all the time. All right, I couldn't resist that. That's the lawyer joke. So she calls her safety thing, her safety net. The others take off. They know to run. Let's get this deck moving. Let's get this thing moving now. So this pulls on this BMA, right? But here's the kicker. It didn't just pull on the BMA, right? Because you can see it's integral. It's got to really shove this thing over. It's got to pull it when this wave takes place of this punching shear flooring system. Because it's integral. They got like links up here when they pour the pad. I know someone commented that they poured it. It's monolithic, but this part's the monolithic part, and this part will have these like links on them, these shear links going across, and then you tie the floor into it. They'll be further up. It looks something like this maybe. Whoops. Something probably more like this. See if I can tie this around a little bit. So this would be the concrete section. These links will be here. And when they go to pour the floor, it goes like that. And it ties those links and this link together literally, tie the floor together. This floor system here, okay, so then that means I have to do this. So the floor system here, let me do this hand, and we'll do cutaway. No. So this floor system here, when it moves, it pulls on the top of the BMA. Because there's no, when it pulls on that, it causes a rotation, causing failure in those beams. Okay, it looks like I pressed play by mistake in the background. Causing failure in those beams here. And separation of the flooring, maybe with no construction joint, it falls down. We don't know because they destroyed the hell out of this during their excavation and moving of debris. They did not do a fine job at all, did they? They just went at it. So that causes that floor to separate thereabouts there, or maybe over by the ramp. It's it's hard to tell with that compression going on. And you can lighten it up all you want. You don't know what I've seen a few people attempt to lighten it up. Come on, really? The camera sensors, digital camera sensors are not film sensors. You can't do that. They do a lot of interpretation from one pixel to the next. And in shooting down there, it did a lot of interpretation of the pixel, especially zoomed in. When you start now losing you get more pixelation issues. So, no. Though you can lighten it up all you want. You can say it's this column. You can say, I know it's this. If anything, the people, after they escaped and this fell down, that would be their wrong one. You're probably looking at their fucking furniture on top of that pad, and not some damn other columns yet. Because some time went by, 7 minutes. If I have this collapsing, if I have this failing right at the same time as the deck fails, I don't think we're going to get 7 minutes. I think the spans are going to be too great at that point from one supporting span to the next. I think we're going to get spontaneous failure. I don't think you're going to get that timeline. That you're going to get if you pull over a column, and that would be this column. Everybody theorizes. I don't think you can do it with this one. I think you can cripple it. So it's back to this one. It's the face of the structure. You can cripple it. And that gets you your 7 minutes. So let's cripple it now, and based on our observations. 2-inch fingers can go on the wall roughly. Reported to me by Tom. Tom on here. Tom's an engineer. Tom reported that to me. That's his witness statements on the lady on 6 that takes off, goes the wrong direction, I believe. 7, we have the camera. The camera will then engulf number 8, floor 8. All right. So because we see things fall down in the view of 7. So we have a reaction going on that's causing the ceiling to separate in 8 on the 8th floor. Wrong spot. On the 8th floor. So this floor right here, this is the floor that the deck that fails in a wave pattern. And let's have it doing this. I stretched it just now. To get down here, I stretched it. We know I stretched it. Let's see if I can. So I stretched that. It didn't stretch. I can't start from here, and the radius would be more like this, right? For me to do that, I just stretched it. And so that's why models sometimes don't work, because they don't know that they can't stretch. So I just stretched that, and I can't rotate. So in reality, when it punctures, it can't stretch, and so it does this. And so if it's there, you see it fell away. There's not going to be scratch in there. But if this part breaks first as it goes down, it starts dragging here together. And as it falls down, if this part falls first, it drags. And what does it do when it drags? It removes the numbers off the face of the columns, as we saw out here. It rubs the numbers off. We saw that. So that's where we know that this side fell first, and it drags. If we have this side falling first, it's going to fall free. And then you can see the timing of it. Maybe this one then breaks free, tears off. And then around the back side of it's connected, and then it falls free. And we know that because we can see no number removal on the face of some of these guys, on the face of some of, let's move this over. These guys, we see the face. Yep. So let me do this. Let me just clear up some memories here. Let's close down my movie for a second. Let's close down, because I have a movie for you guys, but it's not ready yet. And so we jump to here. Those are the pile images. This is where I have my stockpile of images over here. You guys can find them. They're public. You just got to click on one of those links I put up there. So this is where we see the numbers. Okay, you can see the number clearly here, a number clear here, but some abrasion took place there, the scratching off the number. Here we see the abrasion, so there was a back and forth action. As I explained over here, you see the railing was up here, and now the railing's on the face on the other side of this column. They didn't have a railing on the other side of this column. So as this deck collapsed, it shifted over, and I'll show you the buckling of the materials here and here. Match a puncture. So as we these are the reports from, these are the repairs that took place in 2009, and those are reports showing they did a lot of extensive repairs on the exterior of the building. So I know a lot of people are getting excited about look at this, look at these spalling, look at this crack. Well, they were repairs that ultimately look like they might be failing. Cameras, right. So there these guys appear to be over the beams. We see no cracks, deflections in this here. So I don't know what you guys are talking about saying, have you seen a deflected beam? I don't see that. I mean, I see things like, it looks like a camera up here also, but cameras there and there. Could be lighting. So we get these numbers that are in place and some numbers that aren't in place. So you go to IMGBB, and you can find it under there, if you want to find me. But this is a very important board up here. Don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it. It's very important. It's a way to live by. Don't cling to a mistake. Sometimes you gotta let go of it. All right, Winky Man. Where are you now? We saw them taking the debris away. Making it debris. The wall's in place. It looks good. Now the wall has got some damage on it back there in the video, so don't get all excited saying that was at that point. There's a crack there. Yeah, the crack there. It shows that poor wall system fractured at that point. Thought I had more images here. Oh, there you are. Rotation. I'm trying to find that beam. There's no construction joint there that stops the collapse from going towards the pool. Right here, here we go. This is from that side. Here are our numbers. Let's take so you can see that the two samples they took, neither sample, both samples are shit. None of them are just solid cores with a piece on top, with the overlay on top. This one looks like the overlay. This is the overlay side. This looks like it's doing pretty damn good on whole bonding. But over here, this core sample over there by the structure appears to be shit. They're not integral anymore. The rebar and this all separated. It's just laying on top of that steel at this point, being held up in a mesh pattern, perhaps from one section to another, almost walking on a springy floor. But the loading is such that human loading and the dead load has probably just got a lot of creep, a lot of bow in it. But he didn't make a mention of that in his report, checking it for level. And In fact, he did make mention stating that it's the underside is level. And he only took one core sample, so I don't know how he determined that. If he only took one core sample over there and a core sample on the far end, how did he determine that this was a level floor? If you measure from underneath, it looks like a flat ceiling. You take multiple core samples, for example, here and here, and they both come out to be the same dimensions, then you could say it was a level floor. But for him to say, take one core sample and say this is not a level floor, that's pretty damn amazing. So, somewhere in his reports that we don't see, he did some more exploration that we know not of. 87 is there. We can see that it clearly rubbed off this side. So this part of the deck, when it came down, rubbed off the numbers. Yes, there's a material there. It shows it here also. This is more of a drop, and since it had no room to go, it fractured in the center of this. So you're looking at this piece here came off the center, fractured. Pulling this pull out was only for the deck support, was only these little turns, these little rabbit ears turned out, and they only turned out maybe 14 inches. That has punk shear protection on this decking area. Just turned out like 14 inches. I don't see any more reinforcement here. I'm not blind, but that is the cap. Excuse me. And when they did cut around here and remove a section, either this one or that one, maybe I think it was this one, they removed the section. You saw them throw away the pieces of the rebar, which was, they've already made up their mind at that point that this is probably all the punk shear protection you're going to see. You see very light removal, very heavy removal of the material, so the deck is more, when it collapses, you can line it up. Lighter removal, but removal of numbers. Lighter removal. So this tells you which way the deck would be falling. In this case, it's a home run. You can clearly see that this just fractured there and fractured there when this deck fell down flat here, just flat. It just ran down, scratched. If you could put this back up, you'd be able to line that, okay, this belongs here. So this was just a one-to-one flat. No shifting left or right at this point. So after this collapsed, and shifted to the left, that action to the left, the rebar holding on, helping it cause that shifting over here to the left, holding on the rebar in the ceiling, getting us that action of pulling this deck over as it's trying to strip down the ceiling. That rebar is holding on and getting the pulling action. It's supporting this rebar here. It's saying, no, I want to hold on. And so it does its best, and that rebar starts pulling it, making a fulcrum, a rope. So the rope is holding on to here, and it forces it to come back in this direction and start buckling onto the column there, shifting this part of the deck. So I do believe we get multiple failures, but this rebar here doing its best to pull this deck, hold the deck, and creating a fulcrum, fulcrum, right? Using the steel like a center point of a circle. So using the steel, oh, that's weird. It's down here, okay. So using the steel as the radius, the point of radius. So here is, that's the dot. This is the point of radius. So here's the deck up here, and it holds on right here. So the deck tries to collapse. The steel stays where it is and says no, and it stays. See, it's staying right here, and the deck's trying to collapse and go down, but the steel doesn't stretch. It starts ripping from the ceiling, but also holding its position. So that pulls it back slightly into the columns, giving us our shifting. Giving us some shifting, and back this. Give us some shifting action going on. Bias on the angle here because it would support a confirmation bias. My shifting action. It almost looks like it's that direction of there, which will help me get this peeling off like in a 45, not just peeling straight down, but peeling off in a directional angle. It's biased. There's nothing there. I can't prove it because I can't see it. I can't see it in multiple images of it. But that would get us our pulling back of that deck because of the anchor point here. The deck wants to fall down. It says, nope, I want you to go. Okay, Bruce, now you want to do a cameo? So I want you to think of that. Now, let's finally jump into this damn thing. So now I gave you the data showing you where your deck is. Your deck is pulling away. It pulls away from this column is the first column. We got columns out here and here, but there's some grinding, so that means it pulled away on this side. And after that, it pulled away as it did the wave of up and down here, right? It pulled away, ground some numbers off, but it pulled this way from here. Boom! It falls down. People photograph it from this way. Here's my camera again. They photograph down the ramp, and they notice the what appears to be a floor, and I think possibly the lady's furniture, right? That everybody's calling beams and things like that. That would be a beam in here. Beam specifically would be this beam or this beam. You can pick your poison on that. To do that, that means you now broke apart a BMA, which would be the floor breaking apart of BMA. That's pretty badass. We'll come back to that. That floor breaking apart of this BMA, this integral piece here, and pulling that down. Not in my book. I don't have it that way. I mean, that's biased because I said not in my book, but I don't have that happening. Now, the video after the fact shows this bent over, but yeah, that was part of the demo. I can't, the demo didn't go at it good enough. They didn't go at it lightly. They didn't go at it like they wanted this fucking information. All right, so we get that there, but we had a reverberation, vibration in the wall there. As this deck went down, it was ding, like that. And we if you look at 7 up here, let's line these up. Here's 8. I don't want to go too far into them because it's unfair to me. Let's bring it over right to where it's almost touching. Because if I go over overlap, it won't show the reaction as easily. Like right there, that's probably an overlap. So I'm just trying to get close so you guys can see it, get it yourself in your coconuts. So there's that. As I pull away this bottom floor a little bit, watch right here, 7th floor ring camera up here. As this vibrates just a little bit like that, as the floor pulls away. Just a little bit. You'll get your material separating here and falling down. On the 6th floor, she gets 2 inches. So we can actually do the math of the wall height, and you can figure out where she's seeing 2 inches. We need to know. She see it at wall height? She see it up here? She see it at the floor? Where did she see it? And she has 2 inches. So when it did that, when it shook like that, going up the wall, the reaction, it didn't just place itself back in. I think when it did that action, it possibly right about 6. Did that for her, and it didn't place itself back. And on 4, I don't know the timing of 6 and floor phone call relationship to her jetting, but on 4, I don't know if she saw the wall separating because she's thinking it's a sinkhole, as I understand, reporting to her husband that hey, that's her amygdala fighting back. She's calling her lawyer to say, yo, dude, what should I do with this data? I don't process data like this. No offense. I do real good in swimming wear, dresses, and looking pretty, but my processor doesn't process sinkholes. Again, you guys may think I'm being insensitive, but I'd have been dead here too because I'd have spent my time. I'd have been the one talking about it. Remember the doctor and the gynecologist one want to talk about it, one want to look at it. I'd be playing gynecologist and doctor. I'd be wanting to talk about it and look at it. By then, I'd be dead. So, anyway, I would have never felt it. So this reaction gives 2 inches. She jets. It does not collapse yet. Not till she makes it all. After observing 2 inches, 2 inches of movement. That's the rebar now engaging, still holding, so it slipped away. She's an older lady like that, is able to make it all the way into the hallway, into the staircase, leave her apartment, staircase. I don't know if she even locked the door, if she just jetted. We don't know. I would like to know that. She makes it all the way down the hallway from, so I don't know, 611. That's over here. And that's, it's not much, but you know, I'm putting her not clocking too fast, you know. So let's say she clocks it though. She moves it. Boom. She makes it there. She makes her way down the steps. Oh, you got to add the voice there. And she's holding the railings, but she's got to double back and then double back and double back to make it down 6 flights. She makes it down 4 flights of stairs, right? She makes it to floor 2 when she runs into issue, which would be equivalent to about right about there somewhere. Or was it floor when they help her out? Is she down to floor 2 when the people way above catch up to her? So the people from one of the penthouses, I think, right? They catch up with her, the guy in the 4. They get their data somewhere early in the game, too, with this vibration. They jet. And another family, they jet. They run down this thing. They catch up with her. I don't know what time they got their data. We get one person making a phone call saying about the collapse. I don't know. I think that's kind of late in her game. But she jets down the steps. So what I'm showing in this video, just showing you that I'm going to talk to you about rebar and reinforcement, how this matters. That wall was only supported by a few columns. Each floor was only spanning. They was doing spans. So here's a column, and then the deck was interacting here. Same thing pretty much as it was interacting out on the pool deck area, except for now they put another floor above and a floor above. So the deck failure out here, their lack of maintenance, to wrap this up, their lack of maintenance, yet they had full knowledge of it in 2018 that they should do some repairs, but they didn't have, as someone stated, they didn't have the full fear factor to know how this progressively collapsed. In all fairness, how many engineers would know to say, oh, I can see it. I can see how this would punk shear through here and make its way over. How many? How many could figure that out? To figure that out. How many could figure out it would start from over there, work its way over, and go there? I would say this has been out here for weeks now. I'm the only crackpot that's come up with that scenario, and then it became supported by the person. That took me 2 days to figure it out, and then I took this long to get you guys walking up to what I see. Now I've got to get you educated on rebar and how it interacts. I'm going to do a video of that this afternoon with, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to use Threadall to do it. So really I'm making like post-tension, but I'm going to try to help you still see it as loosening and tightening, post-tensioning being, it's not fair for me to use post-tensioning on that one, but the concept I need you to see. And then I'm going to show you a piece of steel. I'm going to do quite a few videos on this, so because you're going to need quite a few backgrounds data on rebar. But you're then going to be able to evaluate spalling. You're going to be able to see spalling and see, okay, I know what's going on here. Oh, where's that reinforcement? How much of it is damaged? How critical is it at that point? You'll be able to see it and start evaluating spalling pretty damn fast once I get you some data on reinforcement. But that's going to take me, I'm going to walk you up piece by piece. That's going to take somewhere, I don't know, maybe 30 videos to get you going on that. I'm going to creep you up on that one. I'm just going to give you something to sink in each time, talking about deterioration and swelling of metals, reactions of metals, and how they lose their interaction with their surroundings, and now you're reducing your ability to hold on. Okay. So this is the end of this video. I know it's long, but it takes, come on, it takes this long to get stuff prepared. To get you here. It took this long. What do I eliminate? Me clicking over here, looking for an image? I'm going to eliminate, 10 seconds. I'm not going to go back and edit the video to remove 10 seconds. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep this up for you guys and get you dialed in, so you condo owners out there can look at spalling and you can start looking at it differently. So you can look at steel and their interactions with concrete differently. Take care.